Hola, this is Nectar Ramirez. In this module, we're going to review ACT and its positioning. The desired outcome is to make sure you understand the value proposition for ACT, know who to target with this solution, and review the 5 steps that make up ACT. At the end of this video, you should understand which accounts have a higher likelihood of success with this program and successfully position ACT with those right accounts. In the diamond, again, there are several elements and tools. All 5 steps are incorporated in the DPS diamond. We're going to go through each step briefly. I always like to start my ACT presentations to customers with this fashion. We're not here to teach, we're here to make them think. That's what ACT does. Not to teach them how to meet with families, but to make them think about doing it differently. Because what we've been doing up to now is not getting the job done. A lot of elements of low service and lack of product frequency have resulted in cremation families contributing 42 cents on the dollar. That means that cremation contracts on average are 42% the value of burial contracts. Yet many of the expenses that your funeral homes are going through are the same. And they're only making 42% the revenue to offset those expenses. This is a key positioning statement as you're trying to set up the problem and provide obviously the solution. One of the key things I always like to ask is, what's the funeral home's number? And this is a great way to get them started on the cremation code worksheet, trying to figure out where they stand against the national standard of 42 cents. The ACT program does 3 things. It helps a firm reduce their number of direct cremations, educate their families, and simplify that decision making so the family makes better decisions and they feel better about the decisions they made. And then because it does those things, it drives a higher average sale and improves their revenue streams when it comes to cremation. We do that with the 5 key steps, and we'll go through each step. The important thing is that when a firm sets up the steps and follows the program, they see on average a $500 per call improvement regarding cremation. This should offset any savings that they might get from low-cost providers of urns in the market. First step is to establish the goal, get that baseline information for the firm, and you use the cremation code worksheet, which we already reviewed with you. And this is probably the most critical step to help you close on the sale and get that baseline for your accounts. Once you get the baseline, you then develop the plan. This is an element of assortment, pricing, display environment, as well as custom packaging based on the baseline that was identified. The solution may include custom packaging, which have been very successful. ACT accounts that set up packages do far better than those that do not. Step 3 is then communicating the value. Here's where we have the visual references, elements that have an emotional appeal for the consumers, collateral materials that are printed, and graphics and the likes. This is an example of what a selection room may look like. Once the packages are set up, the selection room should be set up to match the packages and continue to build trust and make that decision-making process less confusing for consumers. Additional tools that we have available are like custom arrangement agenda, of course our catalog, and then other collateral materials that are available for the families like the trifold brochure and the jewelry brochure. We also have graphics that go by either packages and or functionality of urns. Step 4 is training and implementing. You can put together a great plan, but if they're not trained, they don't know how to use it. Elements of training in our training decks include active listening, packaging presentation and arranger training, product knowledge, and phone shopping. How to deal with phone shoppers. I do want to tell you that we have new training videos that show role plays of best-in-class demonstration of the major objections out there, as well as we're in the process of generating videos where a subject matter expert will present all of the training decks. We're hoping to have all this available for you by the end of February. The final step, step 5, is to monitor and adjust. We covered this in the cremation code worksheet. Here's where you go in 6 months and certainly no more than 12 months after the program has been implemented, capture the data and show the progress to the account. This shows the value of doing business with us. It also identifies for you what other areas of opportunity might be for the account. Who to target with ACT. R&G accounts who currently buy from options are your best bet. If you have an account who's implemented ACT before but they haven't really used the program, this is a great way to use the live expert to examine if this is still the right solution and to try to re-implement it in a different way. Some good exploratory guidelines to help determine if ACT is the right solution is if the management's involved day to day, if they offer rentals in a variety of products, they have a selection room, and do they price for reasonable margins and appreciate quality in product? Do they support our merchandising philosophy? And is that management ready to make changes? Do they feel enough pain in their cremation financials to say we need to make a change and we'll support it after the training is done? We encourage you to make good use of the seasonal offer to help close the sale and set up the selection room. And again, make use of the live expert, both in your exploratory as well as the presentation of the solution. We hope that you remember the ACT can generate an average of $500 per call improvement for the funeral home, that there are 5 key elements and steps to ACT, and that ACT is not for every customer. Make sure that your account is ready for this level of commitment. There's a lot of work involved in ACT, and if you're going to put that kind of work, we want to make sure that you're going to get the return you deserve. We hope that you feel confident presenting ACT to your customers, understanding who to target, and how to position ACT for a sale. Again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call me at the number at the bottom of the screen or email the sales hotline at batesville.com. Gracias.